running a half marathon. From like 2014 to the end of 2020, running was a big part of my personality. I ran my first half marathon in 2015. I did it. I had such a positive experience and I kept going, and I ran about 1 or 2 half marathons every year after 2015. I had gone to Marine Corps Marathon and ran the 10K a few years prior. And at that point, I had never wanted to run a marathon. It sounded hard. It sounded like a lot of time. But that marathon just felt different. And so I found myself entering the lottery and getting in. And so I had a bib for a marathon in the fall of 2020. And all the races got canceled. But that was a time where running just felt so good for me. With a lot more free time, I decided that even though there wouldn't be a physical race, I would still do a marathon in October of 2020. There was just a random day. I was off from work. I think it was a Wednesday that I went out and I ran 26.2 miles along the Erie Canal. A few weeks later, I went out for a run with no issue, and I got back to my house and I went onto the steps and I felt the weirdest little sharp pain in like the front of my knee. And over like the course of a couple of weeks, I realized that every time I went upstairs, my knee hurt. It was a little bit of a mystery injury. It took over 9 or 10 months of physical therapy, working with chiropractors, doing injections. I did gel injections. I did cortisone injections. And it just came down to essentially there's a fat pad behind your kneecap and I pinched it and bruised it. It was a contusion that turned into scar tissue. And so it was going to hurt every time I bent my knee. And so in fall of 2021, I had knee surgery. And what should have been a really quick recovery went really wrong. Just my body didn't respond well to the surgery and a bunch of scar tissue formed. And so I was in even more pain. The original injury was still there and I had to go through the whole process again. In the summer of 2022, I had a second knee surgery. That went much better, but I still had a lot of knee pain. It was really discouraging to, at this point, not run for almost 2 years and feel like I would probably never get to run again. So here we are in 2025. And at this point, most of the issues with my knee is actually arthritis from the surgeries. I was always paying attention to my knee, what hurt, where did it hurt, when did it hurt? And I realized the original injury really isn't there anymore. And I do have other problems, like my knee is chronically swollen. It does get sore pretty easily. But I kind of hit a point where I was like, I think I can work through this. I also really missed running. So I signed up for a half marathon earlier this year and kind of did it was expensive, and if I can't do it, I can't do it, but I'd like to give it a shot. On October 1st, I officially started training for the Disneyland half marathon, which is on February 1st. So we are now officially 1 month in to half marathon training. So I'm really excited to be able to put like runner back into my day-to-day and my who I am and what I do. Honestly, this past month, I just feel like I'm getting a part of my personality back. I'm hand logging my training, which I kind of like. I like that there's not a lot of digital footprint to it, and I'm just already seeing, improvement, which is very cool. But for the most part, my plan is to go into this race with a run-walk plan, and keeping my average pace to 14-minute miles is the goal for the race, because the race cutoff is 16-minute miles and I want to have a little wiggle room, because the Run Disney race is not about time, it is about experience. So I want to be able to like stop for photo opportunities, see characters, things like that. This little vlog will kind of cover a couple weeks of training, and I'm looking forward to sharing the journey of my half marathon training. Got my bow. Walking out the last half mile of my 5-mile run. Whew. Just parked at the gym, a new location for me, so it's gonna be really fun actually figuring out where the treadmills are, but it should be pretty easy. Last week did not go according to the training plan at all. Between starting a new part-time job and getting sick, I dropped my long run last week, and my cross training. I only got in 2 of the workouts. One was supposed to be a 4-mile run, and then one was my speed work. The 4-mile run was a 4-mile walk. That was a little short. And then I did the speed work pretty much to what I was supposed to do. It ended up raining while I was out, so it wasn't a good week. This week is going to be a little hard to get all my workouts in as well. My sister's getting married, and I just have not figured out how I'm going to fit in another like 2-hour long workout. So today the plan is to hopefully run 8 miles, unfortunately on the treadmill because it is dark and snowy. I've got to figure out a new schedule if I want to be able to do my runs outside. I gotta go to the drawing boards, make sure I have clothing that works for this, and probably flip my mornings around a little so I can start running in the morning. And then this week's long run is supposed to be 10 miles, which I'm slotting for Sunday, and I think I'm gonna do a take what I can get situation when it comes to just how much time I have on Sunday to do a long run. But yeah, we're gonna go do a nighttime workout on the treadmill. It's dark and it's hailing. This is very painful. I'm supposed to run 4 miles. We're running 3. We're going home.
I do not feel great. I have had a sinus issue for 2 weeks now, maybe longer, and I really don't know how today is gonna go, but I wanted to get outside. I wanted to run. It's like 45, so that's pretty warm. So I'm just giving it a go. We're gonna see how I feel. See if I can get the whole, it's 4.5 miles, so it's gonna be just a little over an hour. Let's see if I can get that all done. If I have to cut short, I'll cut it short. And hopefully by Saturday, I'll be ready to go out for my 9-mile run. Quarter. That was not an easy run. There were so many times that I wanted to quit, but I didn't. I'm gonna walk it out now. Call it a success. I don't know why, but today's run kind of feels the most daunting. Maybe I'll feel that way next week when I try for 10 miles, but today I have to run 9 miles. And that sounds like a lot to me. I always felt like 8 was like my sweet spot when I was in shape. And there was a beautiful, beautiful time where like I could easily run 10 miles, which is so cool to say. But like, I just always wanted to be able to go out and run 8 miles. So like 8 is like a comfort number for me. And now today I have to go do 9, and I know it's going to take more than 2 hours to do it. But it's beautiful outside, so it should be a good run. But like, I don't know. This one feels daunting. I have a new top that I am trying out. It actually is probably going to be too warm, so I have a long sleeve shirt underneath, which is what I'm going to end up in. I'm running in joggers from Old Navy that I've done one run in, and that should be fine. And then today is the first time I'm going to run with fuel on me in this training circuit. So this is bigger than what I usually run with when it comes to a handheld, but I just don't know where my former one is stored. So I'm going to have some water on me, and then I'm actually going to use nutrition today, which I should have been doing because you're supposed to use it if you're running for more than 45 minutes. But today I've got 2 of my old favorites. These are Cliff Blocks, and so they're like a gummy fuel energy chew. And then I also have Goo, and I do the chocolate. So I will be using nutrition on this run. I will have water on me for this run. And I got new shoes. These are the On Cloud Runner, which is actually a new to me model. Back in the day, I used to run in Ons pretty frequently. I used to run in the Cloud Flow, but I'm an On girly. They felt great. I was choosing between Brooks Ghost, the Cloud Runners, and then just getting another pair of Hoka Cliftons. And I tried on the Cliftons and the Cloud Runners yesterday. Love them both. Honestly, I really like running in the Cliftons, but going into the winter, I'm running on slicker ground, a little bit more uneven terrain, and I don't love the bottoms of Cliftons for wet ground. They feel a little slick, feel a little slippery. So my plan right now is to train in these as well as keep wearing my Cliftons. I have Clifton 9s, and if these feel great, these are great, but I still might actually go get the Cliftons closer to race day, and I might run the half marathon in the Cliftons. But yeah, these were the winners. I think today will go fine, but I am a little nervous about it, so we're gonna go run now. Fun fact, this is where I parked. Well, this parking lot's where I parked for my marathon running that I did 5 years ago. 5 years and a month ago. I think I've been pushing it a little too much, so we're gonna have to ease off to make it through the next 5. Was it pretty? I mean, it felt pretty good. It wasn't the prettiest, but I did it. I ran 9 miles. I feel pretty good. Like, I could keep going. I don't really want to, but that's a good sign. Yeah. I'm gonna feel it for sure. I'm happy I did it. It's cool to be running this kind of mileage again. Feels good going into the next week. The next long run is 10 miles. I'm supposed to do it next week, but it is also Thanksgiving, so that's probably gonna get pushed a few days. Have a few weeks of less mileage, and then I'll hit 11 and 12, and then that'll be it for long runs until the race. So it's crazy to think that the race is almost 2 months away, but I'm feeling pretty confident about it now, which is a really cool feeling. Yay for running again. It's 2 days after that 9-mile run, and I am dealing with a major plantar fasciitis flare-up. It hurt so bad yesterday, so I got online and I ordered a couple of things that should help with it. Honestly, it's something I should have been addressing for a while now, but stubborn is as stubborn does. I think at this point, looking at my week, dealing with my foot hurting, I'm pushing the 10-mile run a week, and I'm just gonna keep this week steady. So I'm actually heading out to do some errands, which means the sun's gonna be setting very soon. I'm not gonna get an outdoor run done today. So I'm gonna head out and probably go to the gym after my errands and just see how my foot feels. I'm gonna hit the treadmill, see if it's a run, see if it's a walk. I just wanna move my body 3 times this week for at least 3 miles each time. I think between 3 and 5 miles 3 times this week will be more than sufficient to kind of keep me going. And then next week I can look at my schedule and make sure that I have a 10-mile run on the calendar.
that's the plan. Well, I didn't love that. I'm in Connecticut doing Thanksgiving with family. Today's Friday. So I just went down and ran on the treadmill in the fitness center. It was so uncomfortably warm. Like they need to turn the heat down in that room because I got faint running, which I'm in a t-shirt and shorts and I'm indoors. That shouldn't happen. So I kind of cut my run short, but I'm glad that I actually got my body moving. I did a 40-minute workout. I didn't hit the mileage I was planning on running, but I got to check it off the list. I'm gonna clean up, do family stuff for the rest of the day. Tomorrow we have our like family turkey trot, which usually we all just like walk a mile. But depending on how my morning goes, I might try to get down to the path where we're doing that, and I might try to get a longer outdoor run in and then kind of use the family time to cool down and finish off my mileage. We'll see how that actually goes. The end of this month is just not feeling the way I wanted it to, but my long runs have gone well, which is the most important part of training for me, is making sure that the long distances feel like something I can do and that I can keep going. And that is the case with the 9 miles I did last week. So I know this week isn't gonna look the way I wanted it to, and I need to get back into a rhythm. I need to work these long runs back into my schedule and try to do as much of it outdoors as possible this December. We're about to hit 2 months out from the race. So another day, another workout done, another restructuring of the plan, but feeling good about running this week.